Okay, another VOD review. This is just a personal preference, but this this timer on in the bottom corner here, should probably put it somewhere where it's not overlaying your game feed. Alright, so I was gonna start at 2x speed, but I'm already gonna put it back. So yeah, you jump out of bed and get this thing. Give me boots and a sword. Make a save state. So you get this thing, you come out here. And see, you're gonna go over here and do this, which doesn't really make much sense, because you can just walk that. But even better, even though it doesn't show that you have a sword while dashing, you actually do. So this is the much better path. Oh, you didn't pick up the bushes? Okay, yeah, that didn't make any sense. You're just backtracking for kind of no reason. If you don't hit the dash line right away, don't backtrack for it, because you're losing time when you try to backtrack like this. So if you don't hit it right away, just find where the dash line is up here, and go get it. So right now it's just one tile to your right, and I'd rather walk one tile than the like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, like 11 tiles that you just walked. Dashing there is probably fine. So what happens here is you're not taking a step down. So the game still thinks you're in the door here, so when you charge a dash and try to turn here, it's not going to let you turn because it thinks you're still in the door. So you have to make sure that you're fully out of this door before dash turning right. That's not worth it, don't do that. Get one of these pots also. So this little maneuver here saves about a second and a half, and you just spent, let's count how long you just spent sending it up. So from 56 to you're finally over here at 109. So you just spent 13 seconds trying to set up a trick that only saves a second and a half. So you kind of have to weigh that when you're thinking about which tricks are worth it and which tricks are not. That one is probably just not worth doing. And also, like I said before, get at least one of those magic pots, if not both. Because if you get a fire rod in the front of escape, you definitely want to be able to use it. So you can just walk around like this and do something like that. But we have the boots, so we have the technology. You do have to nudge a little bit to one side. But dash there, done. Okay, it's better overall if you go over here and get clear of these torches while you're dashing. It just takes the guards completely out of the equation. Because if you get a bad guard pattern here, then you're kind of boned. Plus, this is a much longer dash line, and it can get you even with the door, which is right here. Right, so the triple slash, if you know what you're doing, can actually be pretty fast. But A, you have to know what you're doing, and B, you have to get good RNG. So this is an RNG-proof way to just get rid of this guy. Face up, slash, and then just trap him against the statue. Doesn't particularly matter where the key ends up, because you have to be here anyway. Oh, this is a pretty foolproof method to getting that key pretty quickly. So two things here. You don't have to slash your sword to jump off, and the second one is you should be using your boots to jump off. Slashing your sword is completely unnecessary, so it costs like 17 frames, which is about a little under a fifth of a second. But like, you do 6 of those and you're losing a second, so I don't usually count up the amount of times you swing the sword, or swing the sword when you need to, or when you swing the sword unnecessarily. But I see a lot of people doing a bunch of sword swings when they would probably just be better off getting into a better position before swinging their sword wantonly. Definitely try to start that dash a little earlier. So this right here is a perfectly clean 4 pixel dash line that you should probably try to hit, because it's huge. It's almost the entire screen long. Plus, it lets you completely skip this first guy, and then the second guy you might be able to skip via RNG. Yeah, so to prevent the sword from clinking there, you just don't want to have your sword out when you transition. Just turn around, tink tink, walk under him, trap him against the chest, and get the chest. Your other strat is to kind of do a poke into a spin, but then that leaves the key all the way over here. Whereas this strat just leaves it very conveniently for you, so you can pick it up after opening the chest. Let's go back and look at that. Alright, that was fine. Yeah, so you're canceling dashes early here. So like you want to dash because what's happening is you're getting caught on these corners. So you want to dash a little bit further so that you're lined up for your next one. So a little bit of nudging is fine, but like dashing your head against these obstacles is what's letting you bleed a lot of time. You want to ledge hop off of that if you know how. Otherwise, you want to hop off the right side, not the top. And just cancel that earlier and you'll be fine. Yeah, so to prevent that bonk, I actually think I want to know. Okay. So here, dash up, dash right. Now you need to do something called a key dash. So key dash only happens when you're aligned with the grid. Luckily, all of the objects that are on screen are aligned with the grid. The bottom of this chest, for example, or the top of that wall, or one of the torches that are to your left or right. So just use anything. The most convenient thing right now is the bottom of this chest. So I'm just going to dash straight to the left, cancel right, and then dash up. Left, cancel right, turn off. Very rarely you'll have enemies in your way that make that not possible. Just survive through it. That's how that works. That spin speed doesn't save time. Takes you just as long to do that spin attack as it does to charge up the boots, and charging up the boots is a much easier strat. You're always going to Lost Woods here, so don't go toward the village. You want to lay the bomb before you start pushing blocks. You'll never be within range of it. Did you do Cackwell and I just missed it? Yeah, okay. You always want to go into Blind's Hut first, as long as you have bombs. You want to be a little quicker on that save and quit, but it's not a huge deal. Okay, if you're gonna run all the way to Agina, you ran right past the dam anyway, so you might as well just do it. Having book in hand with no fire source, though, kind of makes me a little skeptical about this. You should probably just be in Mini Moldorm Cave, especially because you already have the flippers. Like you were steps away from the entrance to the dam, so now you have to run all the way back versus you could have just gone to the right if you had already done the dam. Okay. So you're taking a lot of unnecessary screens here for no benefit at all. Because if you just want to go straight to Agina, fine, but then like from here you don't go down to the dam and go near the door, you just go to the left here. Yeah, like here you already went back for this, so why are you not entering? Taking this much time for only one check also is not great, especially in the early game. So you come out of here at just so like 1:20, so like 11:26 is when you should have gotten those two items. And now by the time you get the Agina item, it's probably going to be about the 12:26 mark. Okay, 12:17. So you took like 50 seconds to get one item, which I mean, you can do a lot better. with other plays. I know Agina is often skipped a lot, but like with taking an extra like 8 seconds, you could have gotten 2 more items, and then now all of a sudden the density looks a lot better. Yeah, and then you didn't need to take that screen at all if you didn't have any uh if you weren't gonna do the dam, then you don't need to go onto the dam screen. And that said, you should have done the dam. Also, I don't know why you're shooting arrows to the right there. That's the right one's already dead. This is a lot more than 4 tiles, so that means you should dash. Okay, I mean, you do have the bow, so I guess this is fine. It's technically better to swim from Link's house, but because like this is a really long path to swim, so it's better to just I'm not sure if it's even better to water walk at that point. Just go to the waterfall. Third damn trip. Nope, going all the way back to the desert. Okay. If you wanted to go into desert, you should have left Agina until you were ready to go in. Because now you've just done that entire journey twice. And the first time it took 50 seconds. Okay. Yeah, dashing into doors is bad, unless you know what you're doing. Yeah, so you came to Agina, you didn't have the glove, but you did have the book. So at that point, I would just do South Shore first and look for the glove first. If this is the answer, then fine. But like, you want to come here with the capability to clear it out. And you don't want to have to rely on you don't want to have to rely on finding the thing that you need in here unless the game requires you to do it. So that means that you should leave it till last. Yeah, I should have definitely checked the big chest when you were in this room the first time. But I guess you knew it had to be a small key, but the fact that you were in the room already kind of makes it worth just grabbing. You can still go to the boss afterwards if you want. This is a lot of standing around. Oh, 22:53. When do we finally get going again? 23:10. So that's 17 seconds that you were just standing still. It is kind of trending to be an Agaseed here, but you don't have the lamp yet, so I would say probably find a better spot to do. Saha is right there. Saha and Eastern are right there, and you can just as easily find a hammer there than a lamp. Plus, lamp is going to make this dungeon a lot faster, and it'll pay for the extra trip over to Saha and Eastern, especially because you don't have a mirror. So you could try to gain some efficiency if you had the mirror, but if you had the mirror, then the play would be Death Mountain anyway. So yeah, you're spending a lot of time in this room, which you definitely could have just gone over to Saha and gotten the lamp. So just for comparison, let's go back to when you entered the dark room here. Let's just start in Link's house. Do that right. Yeah, so until you died in Ag 1 in the Castle Tower climb, I've already got all but 2 of the chests that you can get without the lamp in Eastern. And there's your mitts. So that whole Castle Tower trip was avoidable. And then this would have been the last item that you can get without the lamp. And I was playing your video at 2x speed. And you've just gotten to the sanctuary. That's how much time you just lost trying to do that dark room. So just because you can do something doesn't necessarily mean that it's the best play. Same deal there as in the sanctuary. That sword spin takes the same amount of time to release as the boots take it to charge up. So yeah, if you had not attempted the Aga Dark Room and just gone to Saha, like, you would be way ahead right now. Not to mention the 17 seconds of standing around, so just like, okay, definitely should have gone into Thieves there. And now you've picked up the Smith, so yeah, so if you didn't want to go into Thieves for some reason, then you should have done Dig Game before Smith, because now you're going to have to come back for it. What are we doing all the way down here? Yeah, I don't like going this far. This is just too far out of the way. I mean, you probably recognize that you lost time on the Castle Tower play, and now you're trying to make some back up. But I don't think this is the way. Yeah, all this walking that you're doing with the frog is wasting time. You don't necessarily need to kill these Ropas, you just need to dash through them so that they're not a problem anymore. Okay. Pyramid's pretty isolated if you don't do it right now, so I guess this is fine, but probably wanted to save and quit there. The monkey's gonna eat the frog if you do that. Yeah. So this is what I mean by taking extra screens, though. Like, as soon as you saw this item here, this is when you save and quit. Now doing all of this running around until you actually finally do the save and quit. That's like 21 seconds. So those you're losing big chunks of seconds to just not knowing what to do. Or like not deciding what to do in a timely manner. Yeah, this should have definitely gotten checked earlier, because you do have the cape, so you can collect it. Fall down the hole there to get out. Nice. Yeah, fall down the hole there too. It's not worth the... Oh yeah, you can bonk too. Yeah, since Skull is a pendant, doing Bumper Ledge into Skull Woods and then just, like, hoping that the Fire Rod is not a thing would be a way to go for me. That's one item. You can definitely just say you're done in here now, because it's likely that the last item is on Moth, and I don't think anybody goes for Pendant Moth this early. You have a decent amount of hearts, so it's not, like, completely out of the question, but I think if that was your plan, then you should have just done Moth first. Okay, so this is a big struggle room for just about everybody. Basically, what you want to do is kill the berries right away. You only need to drag that down a little bit, and then you can just largely ignore the mummies. But what this does here is what that prize on the ground will do is it will stop the hand from appearing, so you don't have to deal with it. And technically these diagonals on the statue are better, but, like, you don't have to do them. It's not required. And if the mummies are being really annoying, you can just boomerang them or just fire rod them if you want. You didn't need that key, but you're probably going to get it more often than not, so it's probably good to just get it. Alright, well, even if you had missed that hammer, you would have gotten funneled here pretty quickly. Okay, so I see this a lot. This is just a very inefficient path around the dungeon. So you're just completely skipping ambush chest, for one. And the other, you're just transitioning this on the wrong screen. So when you come in initially, you want to jump down here, grab this, come up here, this. Jump off here. Run around. And then you don't want to transition here. You want to transition down here. And the reason is, not only is there an obstacle here, but there's also a bunny beam down here. And if you start up here, the bunny beam's timer will always run out. Plus, there's not really a safe dash line here. So, this is why you transition here, because you will always beat the bunny beam if you do this way. And you don't have to deal with that obstacle. And then from there, up the stairs. That. That. One of those 4 chests always has to be the big key. So you will always have access to the door back here. Grab that. Yeah, so you missed the ambush chest, which has your big key. So now you have to go all the way back through the dungeon. So just make sure that you're clearing stuff in the right order, and you shouldn't run into that again. Killing those crickets is pretty slow, but it's faster than dying, so just do what you have to do to get through. You don't really ever have to waste your time with the red guy. He's annoying and gets in the way sometimes, but most of the time it's fine. Yeah, see, there was a lot of stuff here in Thieves Town that you could have just gotten right away instead of going and doing all that stuff with the smith. Plus, like, I think there was a mirror in here, so yeah, there was a mirror in here, so like you could have just done smith chain with the mirror. Yeah, you're leaving behind a lot of checks there. So you didn't do dig game, you're leaving hammer pegs, you're leaving purple chest. You're leaving Cave 45, you're leaving Graveyard Ledge. Like, there's a lot of stuff you just left behind. Now, if all of it is nothing, then fine, you know, that's great. You get to skip all that stuff forever, but it's very unlikely that that many checks is just going to all be nothing. Plus, with Thieves Town done and Skull as a pendant, now you just don't really have a decent excuse to go back there. So now that you've skipped it, now you just have to skip it forever. I think we need to sit this. I would consider bomb jumping to that. You already did the bomb jump in Skullwood, so you know how to do it. It's just the same exact thing. This is another thing here. Skipping that bumper saves a little over 2 seconds, but like if you spend 4 or 5 setting it up, then you're not saving time anymore. I'm definitely doing light side of the mountain first there. So this means you might have to go through the TR portal again. Because if Ether's just sitting in Paradox Cave, then... And you could have opened that. But now you're guaranteed to have to go through the portal again. So instead of setting this stuff up like this, it's better to do what's called a dash turn. So like if you're like right up next to something, you want to start your dash facing one way and then turn to face the other way while you're charging up your dash. You have 30 frames to do this. Rather than doing setups on pits. Yeah, so this is where sequencing really gets you, because like you could have had that hook shot and then gone into the Dark World and then been able to do all of Hookshot Cave instead of just getting the half magic and the bonk chest. So now you just have to go back. Alright, well, I was wrong. Ether was not in Paradox Cave, but the other two cookies were. So just like keep in mind there's stuff in earlier spheres that is meant to help you later on. And there's your red cane. So you had a 66% chance of being able to enter Turtle Rock at this point if you would have sequenced it correctly. So most of the time you get to clear Turtle Rock there. It just didn't fall that way this time. I probably would have done this before going to the mountain, but if you wanted like health or another sword or something, then the mountain is fine. Yeah, that's too far to go for one heart. If that fairy was a heart, I don't think you would have gone for it. Plus, there's one underneath that pot that you could have gotten. So just leave the fairy there. You wanted to use your hammer and jump off there. Walk over to the the arena bridge. So both of these are going to be keys. If you knew how to hammer jump, then you could skip both of them, but you probably don't, so you need to get them. That one in particular is just not worth getting because it's spending a key to get a key back. So you're just walking to get nothing. So just drop. So the front 6 chests of pod must have 4 keys. Can only have 2 non-small keys there. You already got one in shooter room, and then your other one was on arena ledge. Or arena bridge, my bad. And you got 2 keys there, so that means Harmless Hellway's in play. You can't key dash into doors dashing downwards. The bonk animation happens 1 pixel sooner than going in any other direction, so it bonks you before it's able to open the door. Okay, this is another problem room that I see for people. So you only have fighter sword here, so I will also only have fighter sword. That guy's not going to be a problem because you will have knocked him over. So, have hammer out, transition with sword out. You want to nudge to the left, and then hammer down twice. And then it cleans up pretty well. You do this like this. Always go after the turtles that you hammered first before you go over the ones that are more recent. If your fighter sword here is causing problems like this, then I would try to not use it. So you just do the same movements, but you don't have your sword out. And then this is a lot more manageable, I think. I got greedy there. But anyway. There you can get them all in one cycle. You like spin speed a lot, so you should definitely try to arm it in this room, because that extends your hammer's hitbox. So this is another problem room that I see for a lot of people. Just want to walk up to the spot, make sure you're aligned with this little skull on the ground, and then throw the pot to the right. And then when you go to the left, you pick up the left pot, hold down right until you move a little bit down right, and you should hit the other one. In your case, you have the bow. Let's do this way. So in this case, I think you just come up to like that position, like make sure you're on like the middle-ish part of this diamond tile here, and then you just go left, down, right, and you're done. It's a lot faster. It's like a few seconds. Alternatively, you also have the fire rod, so you can go. You just have to set up a little bit lower for the fire rod, but it is faster than arrows, especially silver arrows. Okay. Yeah, just clear out the dungeons at this point. I mean, it's probably likely that you can do Mire right now, so I would just go into Mire. You're just on an ether hunt. Okay, well, so this is actually good. So you already know you messed up by going through the portal, but you found a way to go back to the light world and check a check off. So that's good. That's how you should handle every time that you every time you accidentally do something, just think like, okay, how do I like economically get out of this? Plus, Bombo's tablet is never getting any faster than that. I believe you're one from go, so I think I would take that straight to the boss. I mean, grab this, but like, I think I'm going straight to the boss here. Yep, good. The boss can't have both items, but you don't necessarily want both items. You only want ether if it's here. And then you can just come back in. It's not that much slower. You only have to redo like 2 or 3 rooms. You don't need to hit that. Whoops. Yeah, the reason that it's usually reversed is that you usually have to go to the left side and do the compass chest, but in this case you didn't, so okay. So you want to be a little bit closer to the boss. Um, it's very possible to kill all of the eyes before Vitreous sends out a lightning attack, but that starts with you starting closer to the boss. Yeah, so for that room, you want to focus on the Wizrobes first. So you came here from Vidi, so you definitely had sword beams. Wait, just focus on the Wizrobes, because they go away, but the Pocos don't. And that's an alternate strat. It's a little bit faster, but it's a lot more difficult. I would just stick with this for now. I don't think it's time to check the big chest yet. Okay, but it did have an item. So that's something. So that fetch quest would be a capstone item, so that would mean it's double the usual percent to be required. Oh, yeah, this is well, I guess if you're only looking for one thing, you're just kind of hoping that it's here. So in this situation, this is fine, but in most situations, you just want to go to the compass chests. Uh, I probably would have gone into Desert Palace there, just because you're already right there. Oh, we already did Desert. Never mind. Did it with the book earlier. Yeah. So this is a nice quick check. It's pretty low percentage to be anything. It's like 12% or something. But yeah, if you want to load up on potions, you kind of want to be at the potion shop anyway. You can't arm spin speed when you're facing to the left. Gotta be facing up or down. Now we're finally coming back for all this stuff that we skipped. Which, I mean, if Ether's here, we didn't need it until now anyway, so it ends up being fine. You still lose the time that it took to get back here. Yeah, you needed to do big game there. I should have mirrored and fluted to 7 for that, and then back to 3. Because at this point, I don't think K45 is really on the radar. Oh. Huh. Where'd that come from? Okay. I didn't know that you had the shovel, so that actually changes things. Oh, there was a sword here the whole time. You should have gotten that, like, over an hour and 20 minutes ago. And there was mail. See, this is why you don't just, like, skip the dam like that. You were, like, 5 steps away from those things. The guy for the purple chest is way back there. Yep. Alright, you're in go mode. Time to go. Actually, I think you're on an ice rod hunt, but I still think the play is Turtle Rock. Okay, well, if you were going into Swamp anyway, you probably should have saved the dam items until here. Alright, I'm just gonna take a wild guess that you don't find the ice rod in here and you just waste a lot of time. So I just kind of want to see where you go next. Is this a thing? Okay, it is a thing. I guess it's fine. I've seen a lot more ice rods in Turtle Rock than I have in Pyramid Fairy. But like it can technically be anywhere, so might as well just do this. Yeah, those frustration slashes just cost you like a second. Where are we going next? Yeah, see, this is all stuff that you can do after doing Turtle Rock. Because if you go to Turtle Rock and it's not there, you can just mirror and flute outside of the safety door, and then just start clearing all this overworld stuff. I mean, obviously this wouldn't be possible to save the portal, but a lot of the stuff you just did, you can just save a portal and get to. Yeah, because if the ice rod's in Turtle Rock, you just spent a good deal of time doing this overworld for no reason. Plus, like you full cleared swamp, which is like super duper slow. If you were gonna save and quit, you should have just done it right away. The only reason you would ever need to do a portal before a save and quit is if Aga 1 is dead. From the hook shot, it's just 3 clicks left to get to the mirror. You should always quick swap that. We got. You always want to do the right side first and mirror back. I would just mirror here. It's not worth waiting for those rollers. Yeah. Cape to red cane is always either 1 or 2 to the left, depending on if you have blue cane. I do like that you're trying to quick swap more, and you will eventually get used to it. But like those easy ones, like the hook shot to mirror, you're gonna do that a lot. So you might as well just fix it now. Yeah, this room's really hard. Um, I think you have bombos, so I would just bombos the room. You wanted to go back the way you came. Check the TR big chest before you check Mimic Cave when you're one from go mode. It's a lot more efficient. If your ice rod is just in the big chest, then you're done. We do that. Okay. So for this, you want to use the hammer for the whole thing. Using sword beams is super slow. These guys all die to one hammer hit. Plus, you need the hammer out for the moles anyway. So what I do is I go up until this mimic is going to be between these two blocks. I menu the hammer, drag the mimic here, dash up, kill him. They should always be in the same positions every time. The other thing that you can do is like kind of try hard it a little bit and then hammer dash up like that. But no matter how you do that, you want to use the hammer for the whole cave. Yeah, try to shorten that path. Okay, I'll just show you the whole thing. Alright. So, Mario block. Just want to hold down. Oh, you want to hold right and then down. And just take the inside track here. You will always take damage from that thing. But just follow the inside track and you're done. If you need them, there's some magic and 2 hearts in this room. And they're pretty slow to get, but it's going to be faster than dying on Laser Bridge. Oh. Those are your emergency backups. You're not always going to be in a position to just tank this damage. So you either want to learn a setup for laser skip, or you can just like put your cape on at this point. You do have the cape. Yeah, I would have exited and then mirror flute. So we know that skull isn't the answer. So we already got both items out of there. Swamp's not the answer because we already did it. I think Swamp was green pendant, so probably go turn that in if it is. Otherwise, I don't remember what the last pendant was. Ice, probably. Alright, we're doing Spike Cave. Yeah, so this would have been the easiest way to save a portal, because you can die pretty easily in here. But, yeah. Not a bad idea to read the pedestal. I think Ice Palace was your best play. But I can understand wanting to stay out of there, if possible. So you probably should have paired these two together. The LJL spot and the pedestal. And this is pretty much your last spot. It doesn't really matter if you hit the switch here, because you're not looking to go to the boss necessarily, so not hitting the switch is fine. Hitting the switch is only required if you want to do an early boss kill, and that's not necessarily in the cards here. You just want to find it in the dungeon. But like, I think most people get burned by this because there's not really any good reason to go to ice in this seed. Yeah. Okay. Well, we all know how to get to TR. Let's just skip to GT. Ether is faster than Bombos. Pre-laying that cane block doesn't do anything. It's going to be gone. You can dash along. I guess I'll just show you the whole thing. It's this one. So if you just go down to the bottom wall, you can dash along this entire wall. So normally what you would do is dash along here, hook shot up here, and then dash turn and bonk over that warp. You can hit that guy with your sword. It's only like a 1 tile gap there. Cool. I'd love to know what else you're looking for here, because you have gold sword, silvers, 19 hearts. Yeah, I mean, mirror shield's not required for anything. Yeah, you have 19 hearts and 1,000,000 potions, so I think you can afford to lose a few of. I think you can afford to spend a few hearts to make this room a lot faster. So shoot that. You don't necessarily have to dash on the spikes. Just shoot that, dash down, and just walk. If you walk cleanly, you should only take 2 hearts of damage. Make it incredibly faster. Yeah, waiting there was fine. So the spawns are a little more predictable. They were already off, so you weren't zero cycling it anyway. So for this, you want to place the block to the left and a little bit further down than where you think. So essentially you want the top of the block to be where the middle of the block will eventually end up. Just let the conveyor do its thing. Yeah, you didn't need to go that far for magic. You have almost a full bar and you have potions. Right, it's technically better to go anti-clockwise rather than clockwise, but it's not that big of a difference. The only time it would be a big difference would be if you're low on health and you can't afford the heart to fall down, but definitely can here. Yeah, and there's nothing that you can find right now unless you're trying to meme the 20 heart finish. So each one of these chests takes 2 seconds. So that adds up to a lot. So you'll probably always have the hook shot for this. So probably use it. So up left above this spike, hit the guy with the hook shot. Even if you don't, that gives you enough time for the bumpers to separate. But if you hit the guy, definitely slash for timing before attempting to go out, or else the bumpers are in the way. Oops. Centered there. Oops. Yeah, I don't do this strat, so I'm not very good at it. But yeah, something like that. See what I do, I just hold left until I'm clear of this spike. And then the Helmosaur isn't really ever a problem. But this is just because I don't usually play on fast ROM, so like keeping the actually fast ROM might not matter here. But I also don't always have the hook shot here, so I use a strat that doesn't depend on it. But this is fine. That's fine, don't do that. Yeah, for phase 4 of the silvers fight, you wanna be using your fire rod to try and freeze Ganon in the middle of the arena here. Oops. That's not good. Here you want to have your silvers out. And then you want to pre-damage him just in case he turns blue. You want to get the first shot in, but then as soon as you light the torches there, he's going to stop wherever he is in the room. So that's why you kind of don't want the torch glitch, because setting up the torch glitch is gonna put you out of position. So you just want to let it go, prioritize the silver hit, and then try to set up for doubles or triples later. Yeah, all this chasing him around the room is not great, because you can definitely get shot. You have half magic, so you should definitely be using Fire Rod a lot more. It's also an easier menu from the bow. Alright, well, that was a pretty rough one, but pretty bad ice rod. But overall, I would say spicy plays are nice to watch on restream, but they hardly ever work out. That's why they're spicy and not like meta. Just because you can do something doesn't mean that you should or that it's a good play. A lot of stuff is situational. If you're on the same screen as a check, you should probably just grab it. Like, I'm not really sure why you walked past the dam 3 times, but here we are. Yeah, and like I think you should have waited on desert a little more. Or sorry, not desert. I think you should have waited on Agina until you were ready to go to desert. So you already had the book and the fire rod, and obviously the boots. So yeah, so just try to tighten up your decision making too, because there was a lot of standing around and slashing the sword for no reason and stuff like that. So yeah, that's all I got.